If you're watching this right now and you haven't hit the like button, Billy, get on it. Bug your brother. Tell him to do the same. Preview week 4 of this Toronto Blue Jays season. The team sitting at 11-8. They've had a pretty decent start so far to this 2023. Yes, they have lost some games that they could have won, and that always hurts a little bit more as a fan to watch that go down. The last game against Houston, obviously the prime example of that. But to be 3-3 after coming out of that 6-game set against the Rays and the Astros, not so bad. And now heading into New York to play the damn dirty Yankees. Of course, man, I was reading through the comments of yesterday's show, and there was a Yankees comment there that was like, once the injured Yankees win 2 out of 3, I can't wait to hear all the excuses Blue Jays Nation's making. Which that comment rubbed me the wrong way so many ways. You know, I was number one. I'm like, shut up, okay? Yankees fans coming in, leaving lame ass comments. But of course he mentioned the injured part, right? He's like just setting it up so that he has an excuse when the Yankees lose 2 of 3, and he'll be like, oh, we're not even at full health. Anyways, the Blue Jays are playing the Yankees this weekend.
Yep.
Before they head to Chicago to play the White Sox. It is in Chicago, right? That's they're still on the road for the next 6 games here, or do they head back to Toronto for Chicago?
No, the White Sox series is in Toronto.
In Toronto. So the road trip wraps up here in New York. That is good news. Pitching matchups. Let's get into it, Adam.
Okay, pitching matchups. I just want to start by saying tonight's game, Apple TV.
Yes.
Bummer. It is a Yusei Kikuchi start, KKKK Coochie, versus Domingo Sticky Stuff. I swear it's just rosin and sweat, Herman. I kind of expect this to be a good pitching matchup, to be honest.
So do I.
Kikuchi's rolling, man. He's off to a good start. Great spring training. He had the one blip of an outing, but like, if this is Kikuchi, I'll take him this year. Like,
if you give me a blip, a Kikuchi blip, 1 out of every 4 starts, I can survive on that.
If it's 1 really good start, 2 okay starts, and 1 ugly start, and that's the 4-game rotation, I'll take that. Yeah.
That's your 5th starter.
Give me 6 months. Yeah, from a 6th starter with a 4.7 ERA, sure. You know, pitch into the 5th or 6th innings, you know, get out of the 2nd and 3rd nonsense. Yeah, that's matchup number 1. Matchup number 2, Saturday. It's a afternoon game, 1:00 Eastern. Alek Manoah versus Garrett Cole.
Obviously, this one is on a lot of Blue Jays fans' radar. It's probably on a lot of Yankees fans' radar. This could be a heated contention, game full of contention. It could also be a big letdown. I'm kind of worried about this game, Adam, and I would love to hear how the grounds crew out there is feeling about it. Walk-off listeners, what are you thinking? Garrett Cole, Alek Manoah. Manoah has struggled in 2023.
It's a rough one. I'm worried about it too. I mean, I'm optimistic in the Alek Manoah does historically pitch really well against the Yankees. This could be the get right game that we need from him.
And I wouldn't put it past him.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I would absolutely not put that past him.
Now, if he does put up another stinker,
oh God,
is your confidence level
going to be
in the
I
single
just don't
digits?
want that because our comment section is going to be littered with Yankees fans.
I know.
Yeah, my confidence in Alek Manoah is waning. Listen, I know. I think it's such an interesting topic when you're talking Alek Manoah, because long term, I have all the confidence in the world in Alek Manoah. I already know what he is. He's a stud. who is going to be at the top 1-2 of this rotation until 2028. He is going to contribute to this team and their playoff window every single year. However,
the
how much confidence
2024 AL Comeback Player of the Year.
That's my fear, man. That is literally my fear.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is like I'm really trying to talk myself into like being optimistic about this start against the Yankees. If it goes sideways, I'm gonna be on a like buckle up for the foreseeable future. And it might be the rest of the season. I don't think the rest of the season will be this bad, but it also could be like really bad until the All-Star break, and then he could be lights out in the second half.
But you know how ridiculous I am, Adam? I honestly, if he comes out and pitches a lights out game against the Yankees, I'm literally prepared to wash my hands of his troubles and being like, Alex back, no big deal. And I mean that.
Right now I need 2 in a row from him before
Okay.
just if the playoffs were to start today, kind of a measurement, right? And you go, we got game 1 of the wild card series. Who's your guy, right? Right now, it's Kevin Gossman. Despite the clunker he had yesterday or last week, that's a wash. Alek Manoah, I would need to see 2 in a row lights out performances before I'm
I
willing
just
to
need
wash
the
my
one.
hands of that. No,
I just
right
need the one,
now,
which is,
for me, it is
again, I know it's
Gossman and then it's
ridiculous. It's
Bassett.
kind of silly. Yeah.
It's Gossman, it's Bassett, and then guess what? Might be. No, it's still probably Alek Manoah in a game 3, but I'm not feeling good about it. But I can't see myself giving the ball to Yusei Kikuchi over Alek Manoah in a game 3 series deciding playoff matchup. I just can't. I
How
hope
many more
at no point this season do I ever feel confident in that.
how many more good starts out of Barrios do you see before you're a believer?
Well, 2 in a row. That was
Yes,
good.
I know.
So it's 2 clunkers, 2 good ones. If the next one's good, and it doesn't have to be 7 innings of 2-hit baseball for me to feel good. I just need more than 2 innings of 7-run baseball. But yeah, if he could pitch into like we'll talk his start against the White Sox here in a bit, but yeah, if he could go like 6 innings and give up 2 or 3 runs, like, I mean, I don't think. Look, it's gonna be late August of him pitching well 85% of the time before I feel good about Jose Barrios and thinking the troubles are behind him. Like, just on a day-to-day basis of, do I feel good about Jose Barrios this week? No, I don't. I think either outcome is likely, that he is out after the 2nd inning or out after the 7th inning. And I think he's probably due for a stinker. I know that's not how stuff really works, but
Could he change your mind if he comes out and he pitches the next 3 games, 6 innings minimum, and only allows 2 to 3 runs each game?
the next
3
3
good
games,
starts in a row, which would make it 5 solid starts. Does that give you more confidence? Does that allow you to be like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to wait till August.
No.
No.
If he goes, okay, so his
Not
next start is
last
against
year,
the
eh?
White Sox, and then it's into Fenway for the series opener there, and then it's into Pittsburgh. No, I'm not gonna feel like. I would just feel like he's being streaky. This is Jose Barrios. Sometimes he's lights out. Sometimes he's not. I just need to see more often than not that he's not.
And
My
that is very
confidence in
fair.
Jose Barrios is so low.
I feel the same way.
As much as I'm grateful for, like, and I do acknowledge, like, he's got the stuff. When he's on his game, he pitches incredibly well. I have seen enough to have made it. That's what we're on the 3rd season.
We've
of
seen
Jose
too
Barrios.
much, Adam. That's our problem. We've seen too much.
We're too enlightened here.
We're too enlightened here.
Okay, so we've gone through the first 2 Yankee games. 3rd Yankee game is Kevin Gossman versus Clark Schmidt. That should be a Bounce back game for Kevin Gossman?
I think it will be.
I
I
don't foresee
really,
two bad
I have
starts from him in a row.
zero. We've just talked confidence on these other pitchers here. Your confidence in Kevin Gausman unwavering after the last start, right?
Yes, no wavering yet, but if the Yankees beat up on him, I might start to be concerned, and here's why. Last year, he started the season with a splitter that was unhittable. And then all of a sudden, it just felt like the league had figured him out. Was he tipping his pitches? Was like, that was the question. If we do see another start like he just had against the Astros, I'm going to start to wonder, okay, he must be tipping his pitches. Something must be going on. Like season long confidence won't waver, but for the immediate future, for his next start, I would be worried if this one against the Yankees is bad. That being said, Yankees are putting Clark Schmidt on the mound, who has an ERA of 8.79 and a WHIP of 1.88 across 3 starts this year. So
he gives up hits, he gives up walks.
should be a good game for Blue Jays in that one. Record against the Yankees, you think they're taking 2 of 3, or do you think we're taking 2 of 3?
I think this series, I'm going to go with positivity here, buddy. I'm going to predict the Jays take 2 of 3. That's more just wishful thinking. I do think that these two teams match up really well against each other. I don't think that the Jays are outmatched. Even if the Yankees take all 3 of these games, I still feel that way. Although I will say I really want to see a good first game out of this series. I want to see Yusei Kikuchi go in there and pitch 5 innings and not give up too much runs, not give up too many hits, give them a good chance to win. And then from there, who knows?
Well, I'm going to go 1-2 for the Blue Jays this week against the Yankees. It is in New York. Home field advantage is a thing. We're on the road. If it was a 4-game series, I'd probably say 2-2 split. But I do think we're evenly matched. I'm not scared of the Yankees like I have been in years past, but our offense has cooled off. Alek Manoah versus Garrett Cole. I feel very worried about that matchup.
Listen, Garrett Cole is putting on a clinic this season. The guy has been almost unhittable. He's sitting currently, I think it's 3-0 on the season. He's 0.95 ERA.
4-0, but yes.
4-0 on the season. There you go. So he's yet to lose a start. He doesn't give up runs this season. I mean, an ERA under 1. The guy's been unhittable. I hate it.
The WHIP of 0.74, 0 home runs, 32 walks 32 strikeouts versus 8 walks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is unfortunately
he's looking like
having a Cy
He's
Young
looking like a
season
300. Yeah, he's looking like a $300 million
Yeah.
pitcher this season.
So I would say things have to really go off the rails for the Yankees for the Blue Jays to compete in that particular matchup. I do feel good about the Kevin Gausman matchup, but then Kikuchi versus Domingo Germán. For me,
Listen, if the Jays can take 2 of 3 out of this series and they can come back to Rogers Center after a very difficult road trip of Tampa Bay I guess Tampa they played in Toronto. However, a very difficult road trip of Houston into New York, and they can come out of that 3-team meat grinder at 5-4. That is something you can hang your hat on moving forward. This is one of the tougher 9-game stretches the Blue Jays are going to go through this entire season.
Yep.
So a 2-win series victory in New York would be massive. I'm not feeling overly confident, and I don't think it's going to affect the season all that much if they wind up taking 1 of 3. But yeah, you got to get those wins against these division rivals. It does matter. It is a big deal, especially considering this AL East is going to really come down to it, is what it's looking like here between the Rays, the Yankees, the Jays, and even the Orioles are in it right now.
Then we got 3 against the White Sox. White Sox struggling this year. They're at 7-12, fourth place in the AL Central. We got Chris
And they're coming to
Bassett.
Rogers Center. Yeah.
Yep. We got Chris Bassett versus Lucas Giolito. I feel good in that matchup. Giolito doesn't scare me. Bassett's pitching very well. Game number 2, they got Mike Clevenger versus Jose Barrios. That might be a tough one for us. It depends which Barrios shows up, I think. Clevenger
depends which Clevenger shows up, too.
Yeah. Good point. And then in the final game of the week, the series closer, we got Yusei Kikuchi. So it's a 2 Kikuchi week. Last week, we had a 2 Barrios start week. I was not confident in that, although Barrios really impressed. 2 Kikuchi starts this week. I feel better than I did last week, so I'm sure it'll go terribly, because what do I know? They're putting Michael Kopech to the mound. He's got a 6 ERA and a whip of 1.66. 7 home runs given up, so the boys should feast, hopefully. This is we got to take 2 out of 3 against the White Sox at home.
I would agree.
White Sox aren't so bad that you can expect a sweep. Sweeping is hard even against bad teams, right? But you got to do 2 out of 3 against the White Sox at home, for sure. So I'm saying 3-3 this week. I'll be happy with 3-3.
Okay.